Greetings from Tokyo. This is Daisuke Beppu, and I hope all of you are doing very well. I'd like to take this opportunity, really briefly, just to make some quick preliminary comments, if I may, about the recent announcement that was made regarding the releases that are planned for November 2018 from the Criterion Collection. Earlier this week, as many of you already know, the Criterion Collection made an announcement setting forth, in essence, that there would be 4 new individual release titles that would be released in November of 2018. So right now we're in August of 2018, so a few months from now. And those films are, I'm just recalling from memory here, The Story of Chikamatsu, which is a very famous film by Kenji Mizoguchi. David Byrne's True Stories. This is a very exciting one for me, True Stories. And then next is Billy Wilder's Some Like It Hot. Famous, fabulous film. And the next one is Orson Welles' The Magnificent Ambersons. Now, of these 4, I'm sure you know that 2 of them, Some Like It Hot and The Magnificent Ambersons, are also Criterion Collection Laserdiscs. And let's see, do I have the Laserdiscs? Yes, I do. So, for example, Some Like It Hot is a Criterion Collection Laserdisc like the one I have here. And The Magnificent Ambersons is right here. This is a really classic release. In fact, it's so classic that I think there is another version of Magnificent Ambersons. Yes, it's right here. It's right here. Here we go. Magnificent Ambersons here. And actually, there's even another version, which is right here, which is the CLV release. There we go. So, you know, The Magnificent Ambersons is a key film in Criterion Collection Laserdisc history, as Some Like It Hot is also a key film in the Criterion Collection Laserdisc history. So here we have looking at the November 2018 release schedule, just looking at it so purely in those terms, we have 2 more titles that from the Criterion Collection Laserdiscs that are being upgraded to the current collection, so the Blu-ray or DVD collection, which is very exciting news. I'm so happy whenever Criterion does this. You know, they'll take an old Laserdisc title and then they'll reintroduce it into the collection. Last month, they announced The Princess Bride and Shampoo, which were also Criterion Collection Laserdiscs. In particular, The Princess Bride. You know, there were 3 of them. There are 3 versions in the Criterion Collection Laserdisc collection. So that's really exciting news. And then now we have Magnificent Ambersons and Some Like It Hot. So I am so thrilled. Now, just really briefly, of course, I know that there are some differences between the Laserdisc release of those films and then the upcoming planned Blu-ray releases. So in other words, I think the Blu-rays for each of those films has a really healthy wealth of supplements, although I think that there are some supplements in the Laserdiscs that are not carried over. So not all of them, but there may be a few key ones that aren't carried over, in which case I would suggest that if you are so inclined, maybe you might want to consider getting, for example, the Blu-ray of The Magnificent Ambersons and the Laserdisc CAV release of The Magnificent Ambersons, because I think the CAV release of The Magnificent Ambersons, for example, has certain supplements, and one of those supplements that is not going to be carried over into the Blu-ray, as far as I understand it, is actually there's a supplement in the Laserdisc where you can look at the pictures of the shooting script of Magnificent Ambersons, and it's the full shooting script. So it's a really interesting way to study the film. And there's also discussion, a lot of healthy discussions about what would have been had the excised 40 minutes been included in the final product. So there are some supplements that I don't know if they're going to be carried over. Of course, we're going to have to wait and see when the films are eventually actually released in November, and I'll take a look and check because, of course, things can change between now and November, of course. So, but as far as I can tell right now, based on the information provided by Criterion, there might be some, maybe 1, 2, maybe more supplements that were included on the CAV releases of these films that are not being carried over to the upcoming Blu-ray releases. So just keep that in mind. And of course, if things change, I will be sure to let you know. As for the other two films, True Stories is a film that I watched when I was very young, and I haven't seen it since. Not because I didn't like it, because I loved it when I saw it, but it's just I was never had the chance to get it. So I'm very glad now that it's going to be in the Criterion collection, so that'll give me an excuse to get it. Now I understand that amongst the supplements there's also going to be a CD of the songs, so this is going to be interesting. As far as I know, no other Criterion collection DVD or Blu-ray release has had a CD included with it. Am I right in thinking that? If that's the case, then this is very exciting. This bodes well for the kinds of supplements that we might be able to expect in future releases, right? Who knows? I know that some other labels do that. You know, for example, Arrow, I think, does that with some of its films. You know, they include the CD soundtrack or something of that sort, and so. Yes, I'm glad Criterion is doing that as well, and I would encourage Criterion to do more of that, because I think music is a key component to a film, and in fact, in some instances, it's probably even more important. You know, yes. And yes, the other film that I wanted to discuss is the other film that's being released, which is a story of Chikamatsu, so Kenji Mizoguchi. Now, I'm so happy about this news because, as some of you may know, the film was actually released on Blu-ray by Masters of Cinema, Eureka, and it was in that beautiful box, Late Mizoguchi. Do you remember that? It was also released as a DVD, but I don't buy the DVDs of Masters of Cinema. I usually buy only the Blu-rays, with one exception, of course. But you know, back to the Late Mizoguchi box. This is a beautiful box set, and unfortunately, it is out of print. And even more unfortunately, for whatever reason, it's going for insane prices on eBay. So it's quite a shame because you know, it had Chikamatsu Monogatari, or the story of Chikamatsu, is right here. Yes. And the fact that Criterion Collection is bringing this back from the dead, so to speak, and giving us its own version, I'm so thrilled, because I think this is such a wonderful, wonderful, sad, so richly detailed film from Kenji Mizoguchi, a classic, a masterpiece. And so I can't wait to see and to hear what the reactions are going to be from the Criterion Collection enthusiast group. I'm, for one, I think of the 4 releases, I'm probably most excited about Criterion's release of A Story of Chikamatsu. So that's basically it as far as my preliminary comments are concerned. Now, please understand that once the Blu-rays are released and I get the sense of exactly what the supplements are and the quality of the video, picture, and audio, etc., I might be able to give more in-depth comments. But as for now, based on the press release from the Criterion Collection and the announcement that you can find online, this is shaping up to be a really great November. And I must admit that, you know, I understand that there are streaming services and you can watch these on streaming, and I'm all for that if you're into streaming and Filmstruck, etc. I personally don't have Filmstruck because I'm living in Japan, and I think it's not made available here for Japanese audiences here in Japan, which is a bit of a shame. But I'm also not a subscriber to any other streaming services. I don't hate streaming, but it's just I'm just a physical media guy. What can I say? I've firmly planted my flag in the physical media camp, as it were. So I'm very happy to do that. Now, of course, I know in a few years, the chances are that physical media is probably going to become an extinct dinosaur. I hope that doesn't happen soon, but you never know with the changing market and times. But with that reasonable expectation firmly planted in my mind, now is just a lovely time to be a physical media fan and a film fan in general, is it not? Because the Criterion Collection just keeps hitting it out of the park, I think. This year especially, last year, the year before, what am I saying? The whole entire collection is is fantastic. But just November, with these 4 releases and Magnificent Ambersons, it's shaping up to be quite a historic release. But not only that, we have the Ingmar Bergman box set, which is also planned to be released in November, which is going to be an amazing set. I can't wait to dig into that because I love Ingmar Bergman films so much. I haven't spoken a lot about Ingmar Bergman on my channel so far. That's only because I respect his films so much that I feel like I'm not yet intellectually capable to handle and to tackle those films yet. Maybe one of these days I might be able to at least endeavor to do a little bit on Ingmar Bergman, but as for now, I'm a little bit nervous to tackle his films yet, but I will try one of these days. But the Ingmar Bergman box set coming in November, that's going to be a momentous. It's going to be a celebratory time, and it's just a wonderful time to be a film fan, and it's a wonderful time to be a Criterion Collection enthusiast, is it not? So please, I hope you feel as jubilant as I, because I am very jubilant indeed. I feel so happy and proud to be a Criterion Collection fan now, and it's just wonderful to be able to watch these films and get more and more wealth of knowledge and getting films that I haven't seen before, or films that have been hitherto out of print or difficult to get. And the Criterion Collection is just doing its best to present these films to us. And I feel like, I feel like maybe like a spoiled child, because I'm getting all these great goodies all at once. So thank you, Criterion. Criterion Collection, thank you very much. I can't wait for your November 2018 releases. So with that in mind, let me say thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found it a little bit entertaining. If you have any questions or comments, as always, please feel free to leave them below, and or you can try to reach me on Facebook if you want to talk with me a little bit more privately, and I'd be very happy to engage, because I really want to show you that I'm so grateful for your time in watching this video and for making comments and trying to reach out. I know that you are all very busy, and the fact that you are taking a little bit of your time out of your busy day to watch this video means just the world to me. So thank you so much, really thank you so much, and I appreciate. And for those of you who are subscribing and just giving me a lot of positive feedback and just feedback in general, so thank you so much. It means more to me than you can possibly imagine. It's just it's wonderful. Makes me so happy. So thank you. And so with that, let me just let you go and say thank you very much once again, and take care. Have a really great rest of your day. Cheers.